Hello, I'm Nancy O'Neill and welcome to Suncoast FYI. On today's program, joining me from the Friendship Centers is Julianne Borowski, Volunteer and Outreach Coordinator, and Georgianne Nugent, their Business Development Manager. Florida Studio Theater's Associate Artist, Catherine Randanzo, and Station Manager from WSLR Radio and Fogartyville Media and Art Center, Jesse Coleman, will be with us. The Senior Friendship Centers build vibrant communities by advancing wellness, connection, and enrichment throughout the journey of aging. Julianne Borowski, the Volunteer and Outreach Coordinator, along with Georgianne Nugent, Business Development Manager, are going to share the opportunities offered by the Senior Friendship Centers to ensure seniors that they never need to go it alone. And Georgianne, you're going to start by telling us how important your mission statement is to our community.
Absolutely, and thanks for having us on today.
Of course.
Yes. So
Our
Senior
pleasure.
Friendship Centers, we are celebrating our 50th anniversary. So 50 years of serving older adults in this area, and by leading a positive narrative about aging. Mm-hmm. It started with our founder, Brother William Geenan. While visiting the Sarasota area in the 70s, in the early 70s, he discovered a reoccurring theme, if you will, that social connection was really difficult for the new retirees or those that had relocated to Florida. So social connection had great importance in 1973, and it remains to have great importance in 2023 mm-hmm. for those older adults, especially post-pandemic and, of course, after the hurricane.
Sure.
In Sarasota County alone, more than 40,000 seniors, about 23% of our population, live alone. The power of our connection mm-hmm. is the safety net. Mm-hmm. So last year we served about 10,000 seniors by providing caregiver resources, social activities, volunteer activities, home delivered meals, case management, and many more activities and programs in the 4 counties we serve.
So your programs, they're adult day programs. How do they actually benefit the adults and their caregivers? Because it goes hand in hand.
Absolutely, it does. So since 1980, when we're talking about the adult daycare, since 1980, the caregiving place has provided adult daycare and caregiving resources. Mm-hmm. So older adults, they can continue to live independently in their home. Mm-hmm. The adult day program provides weekday respite for caregivers, for family caregivers, and for the spouse that are facing challenges of caring for a loved one at home with cognitive or physical limitations.
Sure.
So the adult daycare, even a couple of days a week, has an enormous benefit for the family caregiver mm-hmm. by providing time for them to run errands, take care of themselves.
Sure. And that's so important.
Amazing important mm-hmm. to recharge mm-hmm. for that journey of being a caregiver.
Absolutely.
Maybe they'll attend one of our caregiving support groups mm-hmm. without having to worry about their loved one home alone.
Exactly.
Our trained caregivers, our highly trained caregivers, provide that safe and engaging environment for the participant to benefit from a rotation of social engagement, pet therapy, mm-hmm. art therapy, mm-hmm. and all while being in a comfortable environment, as well as meds management with the RN.
So you have a lot of programs going on from 8:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon. Now, is there a cost involved in these programs?
Absolutely. There are 2 separate programs. The adult day that we're speaking of is absolutely a separate program, mm-hmm. and there's a day rate for that and an intake process. They could call our number.
Okay.
The other program you mentioned are our senior centers, and that's a completely different program.
Okay. All right. Well, our viewers can go and find out all of the details. You have a wonderful calendar up there that gives an outline of
Yes.
everything that's available. So we'll send them there for that information. Julianne, tell us a little bit about the volunteers that you have working with you.
Absolutely. We have volunteers have really been a part of our organization and our team for all of those 50 years. We have a belief in people helping people.
Wonderful.
So
what are your biggest needs with your volunteers?
our biggest needs right now, I would say we have a wonderful program called Friendship at Home, where we help seniors that are homebound and facing that isolation and loneliness in their homes and can't get to maybe our centers or
Very good
activity
point.
centers.
Sure.
So we pair the volunteers up one-on-one with that senior, and they go to their homes once a week.
And do
just
activities with them,
they
maybe
visit-
play cards or look
Exactly, playing cards, going for a walk, even watching sports. They just become a friend.
just become interactive with
Yeah.
them, so have that connection.
Yes, and it's life-changing for those individuals that don't have anyone else coming over
Sure.
and visiting them.
And again, it gives the caregiver a chance to go out and
Right.
run errands or
Yes.
just take a breath
Yep,
and step back
absolutely.
for a moment. How can our viewers get involved and help with you?
Well, our best resource is our website,
Okay.
which is friendshipcenters.org. So information about all the different programs we have. You can apply to be a volunteer online. You can even come by our activity centers in Sarasota or Venice if you want to come in person and ask some questions or apply to volunteer.
Okay, awesome. Well, I wish we had more time, but thank you and for all the hard work that you do.
Absolutely.
And we all need a little extra TLC from time to time, so thank you very much.
Thank you for helping us get the word out.
Next up, Jessie Coleman, WSLR's station manager, is going to be with us, so don't go anywhere. It's Sarasota's very own community radio station, WSLR at 96.5 and Fogartyville Community Media and Art Center. And it doesn't get any better than this. Jessie Coleman, station manager, took time away from spinning those discs to join us today and tell us about this gem. So I told you I was going to give you a little twist there. Do you actually spin discs? Do you actually do vinyl? I mean,
Absolutely,
yeah.
Nancy. Yeah, we have it all available to
Okay.
us. We got a great music library at WSLR with vinyl, CDs. We do a little bit of MP3s too every once in a while, but we have them all.
Okay, so how does our local community station different from other radio stations, Jessie?
Well, that's a great question. Community radio is volunteer driven, so all of our programs that are on WSLR are run by volunteer programmers. They get to pick out the music that they play. They get to, if they're doing a public affairs show, they get to pick their guests and the topics that they talk about. And the focus is really on local issues. So that's kind of what we do. We want to have members of our community putting their voices out there onto the airwaves and representing what we do here in Sarasota. And the other difference between maybe commercial radio and community radio is that there's no advertisements. It's a listener-supported model, so it's a little different.
Wonderful. So if somebody wants to participate, they just call you up and kind of pitch the story that they want to share with everyone.
Totally. If they have a great idea, they can always go and apply to be a programmer.
Okay, all right. Now, you said before we came on the air, it's a low-power radio station. How does that differ than a regular radio station,
Oh,
Jessie?
awesome. Well, low-power stations were first licensed by the FCC in the year 2000. These are 100-watt stations, so it's only the power of a light bulb that's powering our transmitters out there. And that's so that we can have a hyper-local focus here in Sarasota. Usually these stations are only cities, towns, small neighborhoods, and it's a 7-mile radius that we broadcast in. So our focus is our local community here. So that's really what we try and do. It's also, these low power stations can only be held licenses by nonprofits. So we have a duty to educate the public and do a public service at the same time. And we just try and have a great broadcast schedule that really represents us.
And you're on 24/7, so there's always something interesting to catch, and you have the schedule up on your website, so if people are interested, they can go there to find out when to tune into a specific
Absolutely.
podcast or DJ or whatever. Now, Fogartyville also is incorporated into this. How does that play into the community and the programming that you do?
Right. Well, Fogartyville Community Media and Arts Center is part of our organization that we share space with within our building. We have a full array of events that happen there, from live music to art shows to film screenings. We have community forums, educational events. So we try and make it a really great space for the community to go see great music and all sorts of different cultural aspects of our community, and really make a place for our community to meet. We have a great community meeting room that people can come in, and we can fit about 120 people within the venue.
I was going to ask you that. Okay, and it's available for rent. So if somebody wants to have a private venue and use your space, they can do that as well.
Totally.
Okay. Interesting about the name. Your founders. Touch on them a little bit, because I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So our founders are Dave Beaton and Arlene Sweeting. They kind of came up with the idea for having a radio station on the air. And it all kind of started, they had a small cafe in Bradenton next to the old McKechnie Field called Fogartyville Cafe. And Fogartyville was the original name of Bradenton, a section of Bradenton, when the first settlers came on the Manatee River and set down a place to live.
Right.
So they kind of took that name with them as they moved here to Sarasota to our current location. And it kind of has the same aesthetic feel.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So continuing on again, give our viewers some ideas of what actually takes place in there. What can they expect to see?
Right. Well, we usually, when a season gets kicking, we have about 3 to 4 live music performances a week, and those are local, regional, national, international acts. We have a Brazilian virtuoso guitarist coming here the 1st of August, Diego Figueiredo, as well as we have local acts like jazz great Sanaya Carroll. She's going to be coming to our event space on the 13th of August. So we try and have a wide range of musical options, along with our film series, which we work with the South Arts organization to bring in about 7 films every season to really represent some great stuff that's going on with filmmaking in the South. So there's a number of different options.
Is it priced per performance, or how does that?
Yeah, depending on what the show is, we have different price points. Sometimes we have free events. Other times it's going to be, depending on the artist.
Okay. And how can people get involved? Now, you said this is, somebody can just call you up and say, I'd like to be on your show.
Right, absolutely.
How does that work?
If you have a great idea for a radio program, you can always submit a programmer application form on our website at wslr.org. And we really try and get as many people involved with the organization as possible. Right now we have 66 live volunteers who do programs on the air, and we're looking to expand that. And we also have opportunities to help out at shows at Fogartyville, outreach in public. So if you're interested in getting involved with WSLR in Fogartyville, we have those opportunities.
Okay, and what's your website so people can go and find you, Jesse?
Absolutely, very easy, wslr.org.
Doesn't get much simpler than that, and it's a wonderful station and great venue. So thank you for being here, appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
What's happening at the Florida Studio Theater? Well, stay with us and we'll find out together. Catherine Randazzo, a Florida Studio Theater associate artist, is here to tell us about 2 of their 3 current shows on stage now. Now, I know you have 3 of them, but anyways, welcome to the program, and thank you for taking time to be here. Now, a little bit before we get started, what is actually your role as
for the cabaret series?
Yes, for the cabaret series.
So I'm an associate artist at Florida Studio Theater,
Right.
and part of my job is to bring in our cabaret, what we call bookend groups, already packaged entertainment that has the same similar feel of what Florida Studio Theater does in their cabaret spaces. And I take them from the beginning process, from vetting them to making sure that their materials are in sync with what we do, all the way to negotiating their contracts, making sure their travel is arranged, making sure that they have housing, and then getting them into a tech process, which is a very short period of time to get them on the stage. And then they open, they perform, and
then they're off again.
They're off again.
Well, and that's why, when it said associate artist, I knew that you did so much more. And we all know that it takes, a team to produce a show.
It does.
But you really put all of the pieces together. So.
Yes. Well, and it's a great way for groups that are already doing this for other theaters or venues throughout the country or even internationally to get an audience down in Sarasota. They spend 8 to 10 weeks with us, and they really get to know our patrons. The patrons get to know them, and we usually have a lot of repeat guests as well. The Jersey Tenors. This is actually their third time back with a different show this year, but we love to see people that have been on the stages before FST come back.
So tell us a little bit about the two shows that you currently have performing, and then the third one we'll get to as well.
Sure, great. So yes, I mentioned the Jersey Tenors. They have another spin-off show, if you would, called the Surfer Boys.
Yes.
And it was actually one of the first things that they built after their Jersey Tenor show, because there was such a demand for Beach Boy style music. And
Don't we all love it?
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's a perfect fit.
Yep.
It's perfect summer fare.
Yep.
And you can't go wrong with the Beach Boys music.
Good vibration.
Oh my gosh, exactly, right? The audience is usually dancing, clapping, singing along with them every night. And it really is, for the summer, like a beach party. They have a great time. And the harmonies are great. The guys are great. They're fun.
And they sing over 20 of the Beach Boys songs.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's just, you kind of get transported back in time when you're there, right?
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about that. What can our viewers expect to hear and see, when they perform?
So sure. So, Surfin' USA, they have this amazing car medley. And, they kind of weave it together with what guys of that era would have loved about the Beach Boys music. And that was falling in love, taking their dates out. What kind of car would they go in? What was the first song that they maybe had their first date or their first kiss?
Sure.
How long have people, in our audience really been together with this music? And the guys, they have this nice little tribute to, who's been married the longest in our group. And it's adorable, and they go out to the audience.
And the audience.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what brings the Sarasota audience in, because we're of that age group, and this is something that we can all relate to. And even my daughter, who's not, loves their music. So I think it crosses the age gaps in so many different ways.
It does. There's a song for everybody in that group.
Okay, so the next one, 3 Divas?
Sure. So Divas 3, and just kind of a little bit of a, right? Divas 3, which is 4 decades of music of all of the female divas, from Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Cher, Bette Midler,
something for everybody.
Barbra Streisand. Again, you're hitting the top #1 hits of these eras, and the women that are performing at Florida Studio Theater right now are top notch. They're gorgeous, they sound great, their costumes are amazing. It is a night of entertainment that people have just been raving about.
Okay, and the show's been extended.
Oh, good. I was wondering if you knew that, or if that was a secret.
No, so please tell us, because it's time is of the essence.
We had to open up the 2 final weeks of the run, which takes it to 10 weeks. I think we were probably at capacity, with our subscribers, but suddenly the word got out, and the next thing you know, we're totally.
And that seems to happen with all the shows you bring in. I know you've extended quite a few of them, because you're so good at what you do.
Thank you.
So the three divas.
Yes.
Divas 3.
Divas 3.
Okay.
They're powerhouses. They're belting. There was a woman down front the other day after they did one of the Wind Beneath My Wings section. And this couple was just in tears.
Oh my gosh.
And they had to stop and talk to them.
Oh
that's
my
the,
gosh.
That's the other thing about the cabaret.
Yeah.
It's so personal.
Intimate, yeah.
And intimate. And
Yep.
and you stop and you talk to somebody that's having a moment, and then they're just enamored by these women that are, entertaining them, can see them and reach out to them.
So when is the show running through?
Right now I think it runs through the middle of October.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so our viewers
It'll
can-
be on our website.
Yes, I was just going to say our viewers
Yeah.
can go there. And what is that website they can go to?
So they'll want to go to www.floridastudiotheater.org. You want to spell the whole thing out, and our theater is spelled Theatre.
Okay, put that across this. I know, I get those mixed up.
Right.
Thank you so much for being here and for all the work that you do and the rest of your team.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for having us. There's something for everybody this
There
summer. So
is,
we're so
absolutely,
happy that
always.
you could take time to talk to us about what's available
Anytime,
for Sarasotans.
anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed the program today, and each week our team works to bring to you, our viewers, a variety of local community happenings. If you are a nonprofit organization or have a special community event that you would like to share, please send an email to fyi@snntv.com, and this is a complimentary service. If you would like to view previous episodes, go to snntv.com and click on the What's On tab. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and we'll see you next week on Suncoast FYI.